For coming tonight, and thank you to so many of you that have written letters to the Heber Light Power Board expressing your concern and your great interest in trying to make this People's Powers company more accountable to the people. Just a little bit of background. Kelly and I and Bob were just elected last November, and we came to that spot in different ways, perhaps that decision in different ways. For me, I have taught government, American government, state and local government, public policy at BYU, the University of Utah, and I also teach full-time at Western Governors University. I presented nationally at different political science conferences. I've had to write my own dissertation, of course, that nobody reads, but it's online if you want to read it. And I've written about a certain type of retirement system that every state government has in all 50 states. And I've noticed now on the Heber Light Power Board that we're running into a lot of the same problems that the state government bureaucracies have had also. And it's pretty normal across all 50 states for these continuing personnel problems, salary problems, loan problems to employees, financial problems to just keep cropping up. Right, this is nothing new. Right, it's happened in all 50 states, and I've seen that over and over again. And now I'm seeing it here at Heber Light Power. Now, as I've been working these years, I understand about benefits. I'm sure most of you do too. Right? What's a fair and normal benefit that most employees receive for their health care, their vision, their medical, their sick leave, their vacation leave, their travel expenses, and all of these things. And I have to follow my personnel policies. And I'm also learning more and more about the Heber City personnel policies. My husband is a state government worker, so he knows his personnel policies, right? We have to follow these things because why? Why do governments have certain types of personnel policies?
It's to keep everybody fair.
It's to be fair. Fair to who?
The employees,
taxpayers.
Taxpayers.
Fair to the taxpayers because it's public money. And it's fair to the employees too, right? We're not trying to gyp employees. We're not trying to say you've got to work for peanuts, okay? We're saying if you have certain skills, certain expertise, you deserve a certain salary range, and that salary range is comparable to other cities or other government entities. Because why? Because we're a government power company, okay? It's the people's power company. It's not management's power company. It's not the mayor's power company. It's us, right? It's us. And we set it up that way over 100 years ago. Why? Why did we set it up? I guess because there wasn't any Rocky Mountain power back then. But why else? Why else did we set up this power company?
To control it ourselves?
Yeah, it was for us, right? It was for us to hire some people to provide this electricity. And how many times have the cities had to bond to buy the equipment, right? It was through the city governments that we did it, and we've done that several times over that past 110 years. And so to me, I look at it from that point of view. It's a government entity. It always has been. It always will be unless the people decide to change that. Right? Because really the management of this company is in the hands of the people. And Bob, I always have to respect you for getting the county government changed through petition. We're one of the rare counties that has done that in this state, where we have the seven-member council and the county manager, right? Most are still stuck in the three-member commission, which to me is, ancient day type structure. And so this county has done amazing things with government. And I think this county can do amazing things with the power company too. And that we don't have to be satisfied with these incredibly excessive salaries. We just learned this week in the salary information they've given us, which again we asked for months. Ever since Kelly and I came in February and were appointed, we asked for this information for months. And we were stonewalled for months. They've finally given it to us, and lo and behold, we found out that Heber City is a perfect match to compare salaries to Lake Tahoe. Yes, that's what was on the first page of their salary survey, that we're a perfect match for Lake Tahoe, but they totally forgot to adjust cost of living, right? Oh my goodness, it just boggles your mind how they've justified these things over the years. And so what I've done on this, and I'm happy to give this to all of you, you know what? Is that clear enough? Maybe it needs to be tweaked just a bit on the resolution, Tracy. Is that possible? Is that clear enough?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's just my glasses then.
yeah, and I don't know how to
Okay.
make it clearer, so.
I've gone through personnel policy handbook. I've compared it to the city government, to the state government, of course what I'm used to professionally. And I've come up with almost 3 pages of how we could perhaps change benefits so they can be fair. We want them fair to employees, right? But number one, they've got to provide outstanding value to ratepayers. Okay, we didn't set up this company to pay, incredibly excessive salaries and benefits. And everything we presented, Bob, it did not include the bonuses. The bonuses that Bob Koalas found out last week have already been paid this year. And that was $78,000 of bonuses for 2014. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get started, okay? The first thing I would love the company to do is start immediate enforcement of House Bill 17. This just passed the state legislature, but it's not slated for enforcement until May of next year. And what it means is that interlocal agencies, entities, whatever organizations have to follow their city, their founding government entities' laws. That they can't excuse themselves anymore and say, we're interlocal, so we're special, and we don't have to tell salaries, we can have different benefits, we can have all these bonuses, because have you ever heard of the mayor getting a bonus? Have you ever heard of the governor getting a bonus? Okay, President Obama, I haven't heard of that yet, but they're not supposed to, right? Anyway, there's many ways we could enforce the House Bill 17 immediately. It would have to be a volunteer thing right now that the board would have to pass because the state legislature is not mandating it until May of next year. And I think there's some good things that we could do there to open things up, to make the company more accountable. Okay, number 2, we've got to remove the confidentiality of salaries permanently. They have this one little line in the section 3 of the handbook that says, any requests for employee salaries that the employee has to sign and give a release for it. And I would suggest that we remove that out of the personnel policy because no other government employee has that. Okay, and they are government employees. Okay, number 3, you might want to scroll down here, Tracy. We've got quite a bit in the handbook that I'd like you to consider. And I'm not doing this to be mean to the employees. We want them to be safe. My father was a lineman all of my life growing up, and every time there was a storm, he'd be out the door, to fix something. And as a child, you worry about that, You think, oh, is my dad going to be okay in the storm? Is he going to come home? Thank goodness he did every time. But we know people here in this valley that haven't come home, that have been electrified and shocked to death. And, we don't want that to happen to our employees. But we've got to be fair to the ratepayers, too. We can't just be fair to the employees only, and it's been set up that way to be fair, very fair to them. All right, so no more unlimited vacation accruals for exempt managers. Most government entities allow a standard number of hours, 200 hours, maybe 300 hours, and then after that you lose it. Okay, but right now, our 7 exempt managers can accrue an unlimited amount and get that in a lump sum payment when they retire or leave the company. We're not done yet. Let's keep going. How about reduce the accrued amount of sick leaves for exempt managers? Right now, they can accrue 190 days of sick leave and get that paid out also as a lump sum payment. Now, most of us count our sick leave in hours, not days, okay? I can only earn 200 hours of maximum sick leave, and after that, I lose it. I wish my employer were more generous, but this is what we, the ratepayers, are paying for right now. See, we've got to reduce the sick leave payout for permanent employees. You can see current employees that accrue that 190 days of sick leave with the 25 years of service can then receive a 75% lump sum payment. There's a difference there between the exempt employees and the regular permanent employees. The exempt employees get more, the managers get more. But that's, another 75% lump sum payout. Right now, the Utah state government has really cut back on the sick leave accrual. And they've said, they used to let you accrue unlimited amounts of sick leave, 10 years ago, and you could pay it down on early retirement. You could buy health care after you left. They've totally taken that away for new hires because it's so darn expensive and it's just unsustainable. And so, this is what we're paying for right now in our rates. Okay, all of these things you can see would definitely reduce costs for our company. Right now, all of that added up is over $500,000 in unfunded termination benefits. And I have verified this several times with our CFO, with our manager. Do we have that $500,000 funded or unfunded? I think it's unfunded right now.
Why is it not in the budget though?
That's what I'm asking.
Every
now.
company puts
And
their,
it's required by law.
yeah.
It's required by law to be funded, and just yesterday they said again, no, this isn't unfunded, it's a liability, it's not an expense in the budget yet, it's unfunded, and of course we might be called upon to pay that at any time and take quite a hit to our budget. We're not done yet, darn it. Okay, we could require employees to pay a standard copay for their medical, dental, and vision insurance. Right now we're paying 100% of all of this, and there's even more, okay? And that ranges anywhere from the single plan of the $529 a month up to the $1482 a month for 22 of the 36, 37 employees. That's a biggie right there. Okay, as Bob has suggested, and I totally agree, we could remove the vehicle stipend. That's a reimbursement for the managers. We have 6 managers that earn anywhere from another $290 a month to $850 a month to be able to drive to work and drive home. Now please remember, we're paying them quite high salaries and benefits, and we're paying them to go to work, to drive to work and home. How many car payments can you make on $750 a month? How many? I
At
can
least
buy 3 cars
three.
with that a month, right? And yet, for some reason, previous boards have felt that this is an outstanding value to ratepayers. Now, you can just see how gray my hair is turning on this. Because I'm thinking that all of the electrical bills that I've paid for the last 20 years, okay, in this valley, had gone where? Has it gone really to infrastructure?
No.
Has it really gone to capital improvements? Okay, yes, sir.
In the private sector,
You cannot be reimbursed or compensated for commuting to your primary work location.
That's usually the case,
Now,
unless you're the
if
CEO.
you are self-employed and, it's a 1099 kind of a schedule, and your primary work location is your home, then you can be. But if you're on a salary, your primary work location is different from home, and you're expected to, your commuting expense is yours. It's on you. This is a benefit, I think, almost in violation of the spirit of the IRS law. They should be
Yes.
required to pay taxes on that percentage.
I'm assuming they are, but I'm really not sure, sir. I'm really not
I'll
sure.
bet they're not.
Well, especially when you see the next thing on a lump sum payment as a gift card, you can see how that might avoid taxes too. And we're getting to that. We're only on the first page still. But, to me, we're not taking into account here the business lunches too, that the CEO is paid. And that can run anywhere we've seen from a couple hundred a month to even more. And yet the general manager is not required to file any kind of business agenda, which is usually required when you're going to be going out to lunch and who you're going to take and what you're going to discuss. There's nothing like that required. And when you ask the general manager about it, he is not forthcoming. He just says it's all business. So again, how many of you get paid to drive to work, get paid at work, get paid to go to lunch, get paid to drive home? How many of you are getting that through your regular work? Now the sad thing is that we're paying for this in our electrical rates. And again, before this rate increase ever happens, we supposedly have some of the lowest rates in Utah. And yet, where's the money really going in the company? 24% of our entire budget is going to salaries and benefits and bonuses. And when we compare to other cities, oh my goodness, it's so much lower. I mean, obviously there's a lot more analysis there and research that can happen, but you can just see where this money's going. Maybe
Heidi, what is the total budget that at 24% is going?
Oh, it's 14.2 million, and I've got it right there. And so we've got
24%.
Carolyn, can you look that up on the financial statements? Was it 3.2 or 2.4 on salaries? 2.8? Okay,
We've got the,
It's 24%.
4.2 total.
You know, I'm not used to dealing with millions, okay? I am not. And I have to count my zeros every time to make sure that I've got my hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, and trillions are a nightmare, okay, when you talk about the debt, right? I never want to get to quadrillions.
is it on your,
Can you go there, please?
is it on your handout that you
It's on
gave?
fact sheet. Yes,
Reported salaries.
this is on my fact sheet.
Where did I put it?
I'm sorry. It was on just the total amount, please, because we know it's 24%. We verified that in the meeting.
Well, that's not good.
Yes, Cheryl.
I'll get it for you right now.
Michelle, what's the question? The last board meeting then, after you confronted them with this information.
Yesterday?
The last board meeting, no,
Okay.
not yesterday, but last. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, when you brought a lot of this stuff out. And Glenn got up and said, kind of in a rebuttal that we do have the lowest rates, or some of the lowest rates. Why do we have low rates despite all of this?
I think it's gone to debt. We have, borrowed almost $10 million of debt just in the last 4 years. And when you add the interest onto that, we've got over $14 million of debt with a $14 million a year budget now. So again, if you hate the federal government debt, which is over 100% GDP, you've got to really be concerned about another 100% plus debt that
There's
we're
your-
going to pay off for the next 21 years.
There's your fact sheet.